So
Yes.
we can discuss the answer of the second.
If we have done it, it's fine. I don't know the answers with me, but if you have done that, definitely. Or if you want to put up on Thursday, then we can go on Thursday tutorial.
Okay, sir.
Right. So this is table actually you want to fit. I think that what probably and just plot it and something like this. I think this might be the another example. Probably those numbers and see the different beta. So that's you can try out. I think that was a different beta here. I think this is the plot, something like this. Okay, and this was in a bistable circuit, so need to see the answers so that we can discuss that also. Let's wait after the examination. That's on Thursday during tutorial. It can be put up. Yeah. So okay, so I think let's go ahead now. So the basically to introduce you the amplification, that's and we are considering only into the right now the common emitter as in one of the configuration. The other configuration which are also possible is common base and of course the common collector, and this is common emitter, and we restricting towards only the common emitter configuration as it can provide. So there are definitely advantage and some benefits of having a common emitter configuration that we use for the amplification. It can you can see that it can also amplify the current as well as the voltage. Possible to do it both, amplify the signal. And into the amplification, since I think we have studied till now that biasing, we have studied the biasing, so it means identifying the quiescent point, suitable quiescent point. That's one of the analysis, that one of the portion of the analysis to design any amplifier or circuit for the amplification. So we need to see first we have to perform the DC analysis. That's you do the biasing. That means yeah, the biasing into the circuit. So that means that identifying the quiescent point, and make sure that the transistor is biased in forward active mode. So that's basically that transistor is biased into the forward active mode, right? And the Q point is suitably located, right? So and then if then we are going to understand about the AC analysis part. So it means we apply a time varying signal, and this signal we are considering a small signal, basically. So a small signal is you see that the voltage or the amplitude of the signal which is going to be amplified, right, or the applied to the circuit of the BJT, it should be small than the thermal voltage. That's we are talking. Or we can understand in terms of superposition, any system can be linear if it follows a superposition principle. Any system is true for any system, whether it's electrical, whether it's mechanical, whether an optical, or any system. It behaves as a linear if it follows a superposition principle. So it means if you have a, let's say, y is equals to ax1 plus bx plus like something like this, but there is no kind of like an terms which are kind of like which is not linear, right? So that it follows a simple superposition principle. So we can simply understand by, so it means what I mean to say with a small signal that we are going to do that. Let's say you have a time varying signal which is might be, you'll see that the voltage which is going to apply, or let's say the voltage of the source is should be much less than the this should be less than the VT, that we'll see that that we are talking about that signal. So basically if you understand of a, let's say, any, let's say, audio ampli, or let's say which your signal source, let's say you want to play music, all right, we want to play music, let's say in a car, you got the CD player, or that you want to play music in a home and you have a CD player. So it is a, so source is your signal source is now CD player. This is a low power. Now there's an amplifier circuit, so which is powered by a DC. So DC source, so because it has to be the circuit has to operate within that condition. and then you get an output is high. So that what you see, the speaker basically taking output as an in form of a load, which is nothing is a speaker, right? So the how the or we can you might have seen the such system into the your like this is a integrated system, but you have seen might have seen the some standalone systems as well, right? So this is one of the example, or let's say which we see very common. To understand this, so we start with again with a simple circuit without any voltage divider at this moment. Then we build up the example, and to understand this kind of amplification, to understand the to circuit, the amplification circuit, we are going to adopt some different force notation as well as a different approach, right? So let's say this is a very simple circuit, which is let's say NPN transistor, which is let's say Q, as I mentioned to you, so the QN. So sometimes let's say we generally represent the transistor in the like by a notation QN. So you say NPN type, and you have a one resistor at the base terminal, and which is now biasing is provided here by the DC source, which is applied VBB, and we apply a small signal source here to the transistor, and then simply we are connecting a VCC to the plus VCC to the collector, and then we are measuring output across the collector terminal, right? So if you look into this input and output, or we call this we call this the voltage transfer characteristics. Voltage transfer characteristics. So we know that, okay, so the maximum n is off. So if the input voltage, let's say V in, if it is less than the VB on, then this is transfer is off, and the output is simply given by the VCC, which is connected here. So this is your cutoff, and then this is the active region. For active region, the slope one region is for active region, and then it's enter into the saturation mode. So we generally look into that your transistor should be biased, the Q point should be biased somewhere in the middle of the load line, so that you get a proper amplification. So whenever we put up input signal, this is what you see then output. So there's certain kind of like a notation that we are going to adopt. So to start well, so it means when we writing capital letters with the capitals subscripts, it means we referring into the DC values. That means at corresponding to the Q point. So basically we'll be mentioning into the IBQ, VBQ, or ICQ, or VCEQ, like those. So DC values or the at the Q's endpoint values. And those are instantaneous, since you are applying a sinus time varying signal onto the superimposed into the on superimposed onto this circuit. Let's say is giving feed into the circuit. So there is instantaneous AC values are represented with the all are in small letters, the I and the subscript as well. And the when it is total instantaneous values means it has both the key point like the DC value plus the AC value, right? Both. So that's represented by this by small letters with the capital subscript. So it means IB would be simply IB plus this kind of like a term. So this is some notations we are going to adopt just to distinguish between the, since we are having both AC and DC analysis, we are going to perform together. So to distinguish between the terms. So okay, so this is what you have. This is output characteristics of a common emitter. So what you see onto the on VCE onto the x-axis, on the y-axis it's in a collector current, and this is for the different base current. So let's say having a for, so this is a, you got the biasing point. Let's say that this point is the biasing point, Q point. So correspondingly you get a value VCQ, and you get we get a correspondingly ICQ. Now since yes, a time varying component has been added into the onto this base to emitter terminal, so it will induce a time varying signal. Time varying component of the base current will be also be added, and this would give rise to the time varying component be less than the VB on. If it is less than VB on, then it's simply entering into saturation mode. Right. So now you can see that there is a small, I think there's a notation is also slightly different in this case. So it means if you look into, let's say now input characteristics, so the input characteristics here. So IB versus VBE. Now if we apply, since we say that we have apply a voltage that's been applied. So the IB we can express as an so IB we can express this a total. So this is a total value. So that's total value means your total instantaneous values at the particular time. So IB can be written as an IS over beta exponential VB over VT. So now this VB is composed of a DC term with a sinusoidal components superimposed on this. So we can write VBE as an VBQ at the quiescent point plus the AC component, instantaneous AC component, right? So it means that IB we can write down as an IS over beta, and of course, okay, so exponential VBQ plus VB over VT, and this we can write down as an IS over beta exponential VBQ over VT, and then you have an exponential VB over small, right? So this term is nothing, this is your at the quiescent point. So you can see that the DC value, so this is represent as an IBQ. So this IB we can write down as an IBQ, and then what you have exponential VB over VT, right? So this is the base current. Now you can see it's not a linear because there is an exponential term. So but this might be possible to expand into the Taylor series if your if your VB is less than the thermal voltage. So what we can do, we can expand. So one can expand this exponential, by that one can expand this exponential function using Taylor series, right? Not Taylor series, we can expand using a Taylor series. So that's means that we just take the first term, but we ignore the higher order term. So what we going to get it is basically you get the expression IBQ 1 plus VB over VT, and this we can write down as an IB plus IB. So this is your the DC component of the, so it means at the quiescent point, this current value, and then on the, then this is the superimposed time varying component has been superimposed, right? So we can write down this as an total, and IB, small IB, it means this small IB is nothing, this is small IB is IBQ over VT, and then VBE, right? So what we consider, we have restricted that if your signal is if we remember the value of VT is around 25 or 26 millivolt at room temperature. So it means if your input signal is much less than this VT, in that case we can definitely we can we can just represent in a linear way. If it is not, then it's not a linear, right? Because you can see some higher order terms would be coming up. So that's we simply add a distortion into the signal, right? So that distortion can be harmonic distortion, maybe first, second harmonic or third harmonic, and like that way. So we are not going into the onto this one. We can right now not going into discuss onto the harmonic distortion, but basically we are restricting ourselves towards the linear analysis part. So if we just hold on. So it means for considering this small signal analysis part, as we see the IB equals to IBQ plus IB. So that's your DC component, and this is your instantaneous AC component, which is added. So it means if your DC is like let's you got IBQ, this is let's say IBQ, and on the top of this is a time varying component which is added, which might be, so this might be the IB. So this is something like a time varying component which is added in the same way. So it means if there is a time varying component which is added into the base current, this will result also to add into the time varying component to the collector current. So it means we can write down IC capital. This is an ICQ plus IC, and output voltage VC E as a VCEQ plus VCE, right? And VBE we have it already written as an VBQ plus VB. So it means now if we set let's say if we set let's see terms to be 0, if we set let's say VS source is, let's say we set VS to be 0, so it means we are simply ignoring the AC source if we set VS to 0. So and we apply base to emitter and collector to emitter loop equation, I think that we know for, so that give rise to the, so BBB, it means that's I'm talking about for this circuit. Basically we are just focusing on to this circuit right now. You can see I'm just setting this term to 0, means this is source is not present, so you're left out with only the DC. So all the DC sources are there present into the circuit. Then we simply write down the input and output loop equations, so we find it out. So that's what I'm writing. So VBB is your nothing is an IBQ RB plus VBQ, and VCC as an ICQ RC plus VC EQ. Now if we add a time varying component now if we add time varying component, let's say VS, so then we can simply write change. So it means this equation, we write VBB plus VS should be equals to, please see this now, IB RB plus VBE right. So now you can see if we add the time varying component, it should follow. So we have the time varying component signal which is added here, VS. So that will give rise to the total total instantaneous current of the base component. There is a base current, so I'm writing for the input loop IB multiply RB. So IB, and then this is a total instantaneous the base to emitter voltage which is there, right? So we can just write down this as an IB is nothing, this your IBQ plus IB RB plus VBE is nothing, is a VB EQ plus small VBE, right? So we can just so it means your VBB plus VS is equals to IBQ plus IB multiplied by RB plus VBQ plus VBE, right? So now we can rearrange the terms. So it means let's take the DC terms all together. So that's VBB minus IBQ RB minus VBQ is equals to, now what we have left, small IB RB plus VB minus VS. So we can if we take this from the, let's say from the DC part, analysis part, that means from here. So okay, I should have given the numbers, I think that's better. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and then let's say 7. So just use 5, let's say considering a 5, so this factor is 0. So what you left is now, so it means we can write down, express as a VS as an IB RB plus VB. So what we have done, we just make ease of 5, right? Make use of 5. So that's we can, which is a, now what this equation is, basically this equation is your is a base emitter loop equation in AC component. See, you can see that all the is total this instantaneous AC component. So then nothing is the base emitter loop equation, and with all DC terms set equal to 0. So there is no DC terms are there. So with, so you have all DC terms set to 0. So it's something like, now if we mimic it, so it's something like VB is equals to IBQ RB plus VBQ, right? So this is under DC and this is now in AC. And in the same way, we can do for output loop. So it means we can just take equation 6. So we can assume, consider equation 6 here, and then we can just add on the AC terms and rearrange. So we will be left out with an equation which is your IC RC plus VC equals to 0, which is your collector. This is collector emitter loop equation when all the DC terms are 0. Right, so what we can see that these two equations, now we can give number, let's say 8 and this is 9. So they simply relate the AC parameter in the circuit, and we can obtain, if we set all the DC current sources to be 0, so that's result your kind of like AC equivalent, right? So what does it mean? That Okay, we can simply replace. Okay, so anyway, this is so we can replace the circuit. So you had the original circuit that this is an AC equivalent, and DC equivalent circuit is simply we replace the all set these all AC terms set to be 0. So DC circuit is simply this is VBB RB VCC RC, right? And this is your, and that you take output, that is a VCE or V0, and this is you're having IB current that flows, IE, right, and IC. So this is the DC equivalent. This is the DC equivalent that where you said the this one now, and same way we can draw the AC equivalent circuit for the common ammeter, right? That's basically the purpose of writing down these two equations, right? So basically, having a considering a small signal analysis part, we can understand that there is a time varying component is added into the base current that give rise to the total instantaneous base current value at a particular time we can obtain. And by knowing this, we can just get the equation. Simply write down, we can write down the equation for base to ammeter as well as a collector to ammeter, which are represented in AC component. So it means these two equations, we can, with the help of these two equations, so we can write down, we can simply make a circuit which is for AC equivalent, which we call it for AC equivalent. So you can see there is no DC terms. So this is simply now all the AC terms which are present, and the DC equivalent circuit is given onto this left hand side. So we okay, before this, okay, I need one more slide here. Just hold on. Okay. So there have been different several approaches, but we are going to adopt a small signal hybrid pi equivalent. Pi equivalent circuit. So if we look it into your the circuit one, sorry, I mean like in your laboratory manual, I think onto the BJT circuit. So where it is, just let me see if I can just fetch. So there was one more circuit which was mentioned onto just below underneath the main circuit, right? So this okay, that's an amplifier circuit. It's not a hybrid pi. Something like, okay, so that's I thought that's an hybrid pi, but that's an amplifier circuit. So what we do here, we consider a hybrid pi model, which is basically so it means if we consider BJT, so that's an at the input. So this is an input, and that's an output. So if we just consider this as an this is a two-port network, so which is your, so this is collector, ammeter, and this is the base, and the current which is going is IE, IB, and plus minus which we applied instantaneous AC. Let's say VBE here, and this is of course I small c. Right. So since your inverse of since it has a slope as an output characteristic, so we, as I mentioned, okay, that's one output. So for the input as well, so we can find it out. Where is input characteristics here, right? So as a slope, so it means the slope of 1 over slope of this curve would give you the resistance, or the slope would provide simply conductance of the circuit. So one that we can, this slope is basically we represent in terms of R pi, which was something like if you recall it in PN junction, we mentioned a forward diode resistance. So in terms of here, in terms of the BJT, we is write down in terms of R pi, and we say pi because this looks like a symbol. You see the circuit that we draw is something like a pi symbol, right? So we can relate your VBE, something is here IB R pi, and 1 over R pi is nothing, is your 1 over R pi is your slope of IB VB curve. That's the input characteristics. So we can find out. So it means 1 over R pi is simply a change in delta IB over delta VBE at the Q point. Let's say at the Q point we are finding out. So it means we can just calculate as del over del VB, and IB we have the expression with us, which is IS over beta exponential VB over VT, and this is to be at the Q point, right? So this is to be at the Q point. Okay, so I don't have a space, so this has to be done as the Q point. So we can just differentiate with respect to VB, and then we can find it out 1 over R pi as an at the quiescent point. So this is would be your IBQ over VT, right? So that over this one, so it means VB over IB, which is R pi. So it means that we can relate as an is it correct? Can you check it out? I think it's beta is missing. No, IS over beta del over del VB, and check it out. VB over IB, anything is R pi, which is here VT over IBQ, right? It's correct, and that's means ICQ and IBQ are related each other with the help of beta. So we can ICQ is a beta IBQ. If you recall the DC terms, considering ICQ is a your transistor is biased in forward active mode, beta IBQ. No. Yeah, correct. It's correct. So R pi we can write down as an beta VT over ICQ. So this expression, so let's write down this number as an 910. This is equation number 10, and this we call as a diffusion resistance or base emitter input resistance. So the RPI basically we call as a diffusion resistance or base to emitter input resistance. RPI. So that's now this is for the input. In the same way, we need to find out an output. Now, if we recall the output characteristics, just hold on, let me show you. Yes, here. As I think, as I mentioned to you before as well, for output characteristic, it has certain slope. And then if you extrapolate these lines on the x-axis, it meets at one particular point. That's basically defined by the point is called early voltage. So it has certain slope. So slope of this output characteristics give us the resistance since it's an output. So that's basically we define an output resistance, and we can find out the in the same way since an IC and VC. So same way we can also estimate the output resistance. So that means change in we can find it out, and change is happening because VC means related to the VB anyway. So that means that's we can write down change in delta IC. We can partially we can write down IC over del VBE. This is at the Q point and multiplied by del VBE. So or we can simply write down IC as an delta IC over delta VB at the Q point VB. Since your IC is your IS exponential VB over VT, then we can find it out change in this del IC over del VB. We can calculate the Q point, and that comes to be your del IC over del VB at the Q point comes to be ICQ over actually VT. So we can write down IC or VT since it's an is a transconductance. So we can define this as an GM. So which is nothing is a transconductance. So this is ICQ over VT, and this we define as an transconductance, right? And this is, let's say, write down this number equation 11. Right, so if we now, so we got R pi as in a beta VT over ICQ, get the transconductance DM as an it is ICQ over VT. So if we just this was equation number 10 and this was equation number 11. So if I do this multiply R pi ZM, it would be your simply beta. That's an equation number 12. So what you see, this is nothing, this is a this term is we call as an common emitter current gain. Common emitter current gain factor. So we can now represent this in terms of the product of two let's say two coefficients or two variables which comes from the AC analysis part, small signal AC analysis part. It has a diffusion resistance R pi and transconductance that give rise to the common emitter. current gain. Okay, so what we do here, let's say we start with an analysis part. So to summarize, okay, what we have to do for given any circuit, first you have to find out the DC conditions. First you need to find out for any given circuit with AC signal, which is given, means you're talking about the amplification part. For given any circuit AC signal, the first step is to find out DC conditions. So it means your all AC terms to be set to be 0, right? And then you find a DC condition means you going to find out the IBQ, going to find ICQ, you're going to find out then VCEQ, right? So once we obtain this set of parameters, confirm whether the transistor is in active mode or not, right? So if it is in active mode, so we are done with the analysis part, or the DC analysis part. And then second step is, once we confirm, and then we're going to find out, obtain the AC signal analysis parameters. So those are nothing, these are the two parameters. Find out the diffusion resistance R pi, find out GM, and once we have obtained, and then we are going to obtain the gain. So that's your third step. So obtain the gain. So first step is your to get the DC conditions for any given circuit with an AC signal which is there. So, and second step, obtain the AC signal analysis parameters R pi and GM, because these are related beta VT or VCQ, ICQ, and then GM AC or VT, right? Then let's say do the third step. So I'm considering the same circuit which we have, okay, like this circuit here. So which is having a one resistor at the moment, and there's an input resistance R pi which exists between the base to emitter, and of course there is an R naught which is if we consider depend now if it's a slope, it has a slope, yes, it is will be an output resistance that will be R naught that we can calculate. Okay, so let me redraw the circuit once again. I think I have with me, yes. So this is how do you represent now a small signal hybrid pi model. This is the base, which is your having a input resistance, diffusion resistance R pi, and then we have the GM, VB, that's your transconductance, and then which you multiplied with the VB. So it's nothing is would give you the current. Simply that's the reason that's a symbol of the current gain, and that's a input. So input which is feed into here. So it's given. So VB, that's an instantaneous AC signal which is feed into the base to emitter junction. There's no component yet onto the circuits. Now we keep on building up, and since it's an you can see this something like a pi shape. So that's the reason we simply represent within we call this a hybrid pi, right? Something like this as a pi, like a representation mimicking it, right? So these are the all AC small signal AC parameters, transconductance GM, R pi, and this we have done it. Now if for the any given circuit, so this is a basically you're representing the BJT, you're representing the, let's say, the BJT standalone device in AC equivalent form like this. Now what are the other components which are present, whether the resistor at the base, so we are going to add on, and if the resistor which is connected at the collector terminal, we are going to add on here. Okay, so this is the circuit we can express. So this is your what I think you can see into the dash rectangular box. Nothing is your the BJT, which is represent AC form. And now we have the additional component. So this I am talking about to the circuit, which is VS. This was a VBB, RB, VCC, RC, and that's all. Right, nothing. So if there is a emitter is connected, so I think that's we're going to build up one by one. So we're going to start, let's say, having an emitter. We have the voltage divider circuit. So we'll start with a simple circuit here. So this was a simple circuit. We have the AC signal. So let's say the capital VS is nothing is the maximum amplitude of this signal. So it means this is nothing. VS is in a VS of sine of omega t. So RB, which is connected here, and this is a basic building block, and this VB sometimes now, okay, this we write down as the voltage, that's a voltage drop. So this we can write down in terms of the, instead of VB, we can write down as a V pi. V pi is nothing is the voltage drop across the diffusion resistance, VB. So this is a V pi. Since R pi, we are writing down the diffusion resistance from R pi, so we can just represent this as an V pi as well. So that's the reason we have the GMV pi, and then we have RC. So the output voltage for gain of this signal would be simply, so output is a V naught and input is a VS. So the gain will simply V naught over VS. So it means we need to find out relationship between the V naught. So this is the output, and that's your input, and this complete circuit here to here right now is your, you can think of this as your the BJT within a biasing, right? But right now this is only a single resistor biasing. So this is how a system looks like. I think we'll make a stop here, and then we'll continue how do you obtain this the gain, and then we'll start building up for the more components, having a resistor connected into emitter terminal, having a voltage divider circuit onto the base to emitter junction. So you can see the gain and presence of RE, RE1, RE2. When you look into those, I think that will be much clear. So I think I'll make a stop here. So if you have any questions, just hold on. Why haven't? You able to hear me?